And then at 4:19, the victim wrote back to her mother, "I think it was the man who cuts the yard." And at that point, I knew that was very important because I was at the crime scene, and I knew that one of the suspects was the caretaker of the lawn.
Yes.
Hi, I was just wondering if you could do 2 favors, taking me to the nearest police station.
I don't want to be there.
Why not?
She's scared.
She's scary?
We are breaking down when children help to catch the suspects. From murderers to a mother found dealing drugs out of her house, to horrific cases of alleged abuse, to incredible escapes. These are the shocking and sometimes unbelievable stories of kids being the heroes. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law&Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. We know suspects get arrested through a lot of different ways, right? Police find evidence, DNA, ballistics, surveillance, witness testimony, and then they find the suspect. And many times it is that evidence that leads to a conviction. But you know what else can lead to the capture or conviction of a suspect? Kids. Children have sometimes provided the key to catching someone, and they're very interesting as witnesses because there does become a question, are they more credible than, let's say, an adult? Right? Particularly given the age. And that is what I want to get into right now, when children were able to catch the bad guys or alleged bad guys, okay? And when I thought about this topic, when I was coming up with it, the first case, the very first case that came to my mind, the first one, something that I covered on my other show, Prime Crime. It was one that stayed with me. I remember this from the beginning. Roy Coons. And let me tell you, what the victim in this case did, a young girl, was the key to catching him. We go back to August 2017. This is when 12-year-old Johanna Ortega was found strangled to death in her family's Goodlettsville, Tennessee home. She was found by her mom and her siblings.
911, what is the address of your emergency?
Hi, my sister, we just got home. She went home alone. They killed my sister. I don't know what to do.
They found her with a karate belt tied around her neck, and there was even evidence that there was an attempted sexual assault of this child too. It's awful. It's awful. But here's the thing. Johanna stayed home from school that day. She was nursing a twisted ankle, so she was by herself. And her mom told her, look, no answering the door, no playing outside alone. So what happens? Investigators end up arresting the neighbor, Roy Coons. He had lived just a few doors down. They charged him with murder, attempted rape of a child, and criminal trespass. And I want you to hear what he told investigators. Listen very, very carefully to what he told investigators when they initially spoke to him.
Listen, Roy, we're not trying to give you a hard time. Listen to what I'm saying. I'll just crown.
And that third voice that's come in, is that Sergeant Turner?
That's correct.
We're knocking on everybody's door. With cameras in the area, we're talking about. Listen, if you had a 12-year-old daughter that was killed, would you or would you not want us to do everything that we possibly can to find out what took place?
What happened down there? The daughter got killed?
She's dead.
I know them, man.
She's dead.
I know them.
She's dead. So, you can just keep my number.
I got your number.
And it changes.
If I see anything or hear anything in front of
You call me.
and I will.
Okay, that's all I wanted to be sure you had, okay? I'm sorry we got you riled up.
And I don't want to get involved.
I know, but
I stay to myself. I don't bother nobody. I help everybody out around here. I work on their houses.
I had no doubt you did.
I mean, even the man that had their home before they did. I worked on that house inside and out, up and down. The trailer over there, I worked on the inside, up and down. I cut his grass, my grass, their grass. I even cut her grass.
No.
Can't come on and sit right there.
I know.
And I don't, no, man, I'm not getting involved in that. I got enough going on.
And the only reason we want to talk to you a little more is because you were home a little more than everybody else.
And like I said, I'm inside most of the time. I don't come out because I know how I am.
Right.
And I get riled up.
Easily. That's why I told you to sit there and pet your dog.
Little defensive, right? But did you hear that part about him cutting the grass? Let me play another part about that.
And she know I cut grass around here, so she approached me and asked me if I cut her grass. How often do you cut it?
I cut it once a week. Like I said, if it wasn't for the grass cutting, I don't think I would have ever met him.
Why is that important? Here's the key. Johanna's mom had left the house that day at around noon. And then it was later that afternoon, at 4:15 p.m., that she receives a text from her daughter. Now, unfortunately, she didn't see this text until later on, partly because her children never messaged her when she was working. But I'm going to allow Detective Chad Gish from the Metro Nashville Police Department to explain what that text said. This is when he testified at Roy Coon's criminal trial.
And at 4:15, the victim wrote to her mother, "Mom, someone is knocking on the door." And then at 4:19, the victim wrote back to her mother, "I think it was the man who cuts the yard." And at that point, I knew that was very important because I was at the crime scene and I knew that one of the suspects was the caretaker of the lawn.
I think it was the man who cuts the grass. Johanna catching her own killer. Now you couple that with just incredibly damaging testimony from a witness who claimed that Coons confessed to him, plus DNA evidence linking Coons to the crime scene. Coons ended up getting convicted, and he was sentenced to life in prison plus 25 years. Now, I can't talk about children catching their attackers or suspects without talking about the case of Ruby Franke. This is one we covered extensively here on Sidebar. The once famous mommy vlogger, 8 passengers turned criminal convict. You know what blew the lid on her and her associate mental health counselor, Jody Hildebrand, abusing Ruby's 2 children? You know what led investigators to find out what was going on in Jody Hildebrand's house? Ruby Franke's own son. You see, while Ruby and her ex-husband Kevin had filmed their lives for their YouTube channel 8 Passengers for years, with Ruby trying to cultivate this image of a perfect, loving mom, it was in August of 2023 when her own son actually escaped and ran for help. You see, authorities would come to find out that while Kevin and Ruby were separated, Jody and Ruby were together in her house, in Jody's house in Ivins, Utah, and in that house also was Ruby's 2 youngest children. 12-year-old son, 10-year-old daughter. They were in Jody's house, and there were signs of malnourishment, abuse, neglect, the son having signs of being tied up. And the reason police found out about this, the reason these 2 were prosecuted, it was all because of that boy who was able to climb out of a window and run to a neighbor for help.
Yes.
Hi, I was just wondering if you could do 2 favors.
Well, what are they?
Taking me to the nearest police station. Well, actually, just one's fine.
What's going on, son? Have a seat there.
It's personal business.
Have a seat. What's your name? How'd you get here?
And we even saw surveillance footage of these neighbors giving this boy food because he was clearly so hungry.
He's hungry and he's been young, but he's had up with various stocking feet. So he escaped.
We need the police here now.
They're on the line.
And yes, listen to that neighbor make that chilling 911 call.
911, the address of your emergency. Tell me exactly what's happened.
I just had a 12-year-old boy show up here at my front door asking for help. He's emaciated, he's got tape around his legs, he's hungry, and he's thirsty. And he asked us to call the police.
What's
So
his
he's
name?
very afraid. This kid has obviously been, I think he's been detained. He's obviously covered in wounds. We need the cops here as soon as possible.
And that is when police arrive.
Open the door! Jody? I need you to step out.
I have my turn.
That's great. Step out of the house.
No, I'm not going to step out of the
Step
house.
out of the house. Step out of the house.
Yeah, so we would learn that these kids were denied food and water. They were forced to work outside, do manual labor, In the intense heat, the boy had lacerations from being bound, evidence of wounds being ill-treated with cayenne pepper and honey. Hildebrandt, Frankie, they were arrested, they were charged, and they each pled guilty to 4 counts of aggravated child abuse and were sentenced, both of them, to 4 consecutive terms of 1 to 15 years in prison. It's going to be up to the parole board to determine when they will be released. Now, talking escapes, you got to see this one. We go to 2 p.m., Piedmont, Oklahoma, March 15, 2024. Police find a runaway child reportedly hiding under a blanket against a building. And I want you to listen to what this child says in the police cruiser about her foster parent, 43-year-old Tina Ramirez.
What's going on? Why'd you run away?
I don't want to be there.
Why not?
She's scared.
She's scary? Who?
The one who takes care of us.
What's her name?
Tina.
Is that your mom? Yeah. What's scary about her?
I'm scared to get in trouble because she goes to the extreme. She goes very far when she gets into trouble.
Like what? What happens when you get in trouble?
Sometimes she locks us in a closet.
Locks you in a closet? For how long?
The longest I've been in there has been like 4 days.
4 days? When did that happen? Most recently?
It was last year. It was around Easter.
And what did you get in trouble for that made that happen?
I was sneaking my sister's food.
You were making them food?
I was sneaking my sister's food that she gets from school.
Why'd you get in trouble for that?
Because I'm not supposed to.
Make food?
No, my sister, my little sister, she was bringing like snacks from school.
Yeah.
And I was having her keep it in the bedroom so I could have some. And so when she figured it out, she tased me and locked me in a closet for 4 days.
She tased you?
So police end up going to talk with Ramirez at the home that she shares with her husband, 26-year-old Anthony Ibizaiko. And they confront her not only about that child that we just saw, but apparently there are several children in this house, reportedly 5 in total. They were either reportedly appearing emaciated or thin, but all of them saying there was physical violence in this home.
Have you ever locked your kids in the closet?
No.
Okay. Why would they tell me they've been locked in the closet?
All of my kids said that.
More than one.
No. I've never locked any of my kids in the closet.
Okay. I found this letter. I'm sure you've read it. It was in your closet.
Oh, yes.
Tell me about these letters.
Sure, absolutely.
I mean, why is she saying all this horrible stuff is happening to her if...
She does that. It's how she vents.
Right. I mean, is it the truth?
I mean, those are old. I wouldn't know. Like,
She's talking about being beat up. She's talking about having scissors to her throat. Talking about pulling you off of her and you telling her you would have killed her.
That's when we had an altercation.
Right.
We had an altercation.
With scissors?
No, there was no scissors. She was coming at me.
Okay.
But we can't pull it off because she was holding my hair.
Okay.
Right? And, yeah, that did happen. That did happen, yes.
But despite all the denials, this officer is very blunt with what he observes.
I'm being honest, like...
I don't think you are.
I'm scared.
Well, probably because you've been abusing your kids.
No,
Look how skinny they are. You tell me you feed those kids.
I do.
Enough.
I wouldn't say enough. They like to eat noodles. What kid can get fat off of noodles?
My kids. I feed my kids noodles all the time. They're fatter than hell. At least not skin and bones like this.
They eat noodles and crackers with it.
And spaghetti and meatballs and Hot Pockets and pizza and hot dogs and all kinds of nutritious things. Those kids are malnutritioned, Tina.
Well, I give them canned vegetables. Does that count?
That's healthy,
Apples.
Yeah. And then the officer reads a portion of a letter that was apparently found in Ramirez's closet, seemingly authored by one of the kids. And I will tell you right now, I warn you, this is heartbreaking.
Dear God, I think she's going to kill me. I didn't do anything. You and I both know that. I have been talking to you, praying, and trying to be polite, helpful, and respectful. I've been shutting out all the bad thoughts, but it's no use. But I won't let their negativity and discouragement stop me. This is my year for as long as I'm alive. I'm going to change, but I won't let anyone stop me. I want to change, but if she kills me, I know that I was making changes to make me better. How is any reasonable person supposed to think you're not starving and abusing these kids?
Okay. Mental abuse, I would say yes. Physical abuse, no. Has there been altercations? Yes.
Look at him. It breaks my heart. When I found that girl and she stood up, Tina, I don't know how you stay here with her like that. She's tiny.
She covers herself. She's always covering herself.
But that doesn't mean it's not there.
I know, but she covers herself.
Yeah, and apparently they find a taser. They find a refrigerator that can only be opened through a fingerprint lock. So this husband, this wife, they end up getting arrested on charges of child neglect and abuse, with Ramirez also facing an assault and battery charge. Again, if the allegations are true, this was all prompted because of that one child speaking with the officer and then what the other children ended up saying. Now, I gotta say, one of the most notable examples of kids who led authorities to the bad guy was Jamie Kloss. And by the way, this involves a dramatic escape as well. We go back to October 15, 2018 in Barron, Wisconsin. You have 21-year-old Jake Patterson, who murdered James and Denise Kloss in their home in cold blood, shot them with a shotgun, and then he kidnapped their daughter, 13-year-old Jamie Kloss, kept her in his home, his cabin, mostly under his bed, for 88 days. A bed that was weighed down with tote bags and weights. More specifically, according to a criminal complaint, he would, quote, make her stay under the bed for up to 12 hours at a time with no food, water, or bathroom breaks. And then he would make her sleep in the same bed as him, threaten that bad things would happen if she tried to run away. But guess what? This brave girl, she did. She escaped on January 10th, 2019, when Patterson left the house to go see his mom. She was able to get past those weights, those tote bags. She runs outside with no coat. By the way, it was reported 18 degrees out there, and she ran to find anyone that would help her. And that is when she ran into a random woman walking her dog.
So how did she come up upon your cabin? I was walking my dog, and we were almost home, and she was walking towards me, crying, saying, "You gotta help me, you gotta help me."
When I saw her, I knew she was in trouble because I knew wherever she came from, she left in a hurry. I didn't know if somebody had just dropped her off, or because she just had on a sweatshirt and leggings and shoes that were too big for her.
Jamie, do you know when he's going to come back? She thought he was going to come back home at midnight. Who's going to come back?
Police end up finding and arresting Patterson, and after pleading guilty to charges of intentional homicide and kidnapping, he was sentenced to life in prison without parole. The judge, in this case, even said this was, quote, one of the most dangerous men to ever walk on this planet. And in a statement that was read in court by her attorney, Jamie Kloss really laid into Patterson.
I don't want to even see my home or my stuff because of the memory of that night. My parents and my home were the most important things in my life. He took them away from me in a way that will always leave me with a horrifying memory. But there are some things that Jake Patterson can never take from me. He can't take my freedom. He thought that he could own me, but he was wrong. I was smarter. I watched his routine and I took back my freedom. I will always have my freedom and he will not.
But she added, he thought he could own me, but he was wrong. I was smart. I watched his routine, and I took back my freedom. I was brave, and he was not. He will never have power over me. I feel like I have some power over him, because I get to tell the judge what I think should happen to him. Now we got to talk about what authorities say reportedly happened out in July of 2022 in Henderson, Nevada. A 9-year-old boy apparently found a stash of drugs in his mom's nightstand, locked himself in a bathroom, and called his father. And then later on, police come to the house, okay? And by the way, we are talking a bag of more than 100 grams of meth. Yeah. So I want you to watch what happens when police show up to the home of Kendra Long, where the child allegedly hands the bag over to police.
Hello. How are you? Well, thank you. So, we were called to come check on your son.
Okay, yeah, he's on my phone in the bathroom for like an hour.
Can I come in and talk to you?
Sure, yes. What is going on?
I have no idea.
I have no idea what that is.
Well, you just handed it to me.
Okay, I don't know.
So this is your child?
This is my baby. Yes, he's in the bathroom for an hour.
Okay.
Literally an hour.
Who else home with you?
Me and him.
All right.
That's it.
Why are you sweating?
I'm sweating? I'm not sweating.
You look sweating.
No, I'm
make sure you were in here by yourself.
No, I'm freaking out.
Okay, now I want to get into what happens when police speak with this boy.
And what did you find inside the house that made you scared? Okay. Do you know what drugs look like?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. So where were the drugs at?
Underneath the nightstand.
Underneath the nightstand? Okay. Gotcha. Do you ever seen anything like that here before?
No.
No? Okay. So where are those at right now? Nobody inside's in trouble for anything. I just need to try to figure out what's going on.
I just gave him to the first person I saw.
Okay, and who was that?
It's an officer to the right.
Okay, so you gave them, the officer, some stuff?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. What, and have you ever seen anything like that in the house before? No? Okay, but you know what drugs do look like?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Okay, so is there like a lot of people that come and go in and out of the house?
Only people that I know that come to the house are some of her friends, and that's really it.
Okay. Do you think somebody might have dropped something off, or it was somebody else's that they accidentally left here?
I think they dropped something off on an accident.
You think they dropped some off an accident?
No, not on accident, on purpose.
Okay. All right. Any idea who do you think left the stuff here?
Her friend, which his nickname is Poncho, but his real name is Alfonso.
Okay. And is Alfonso kind of a mean guy, or is he pretty nice, or?
I don't see him too much, but just one of those people where you look at him and you know it, and he's always acts weird around me.
Okay.
It's the only person I can think of.
Has he ever threatened you or hurt you or anything like that?
No.
He just acts kind of weird? And is he just a friend to your mom, or are they?
He's a friend.
Okay.
That's all I know.
She just kind of shows up every once in a while?
Yeah, I've only seen him about once or twice.
And you think he dropped the stuff off?
Yes.
So you got scared tonight. You called your dad. And you found this stuff, right? Where did you find it at?
Under the nightstand.
On accident?
Yeah.
Where was it at?
Under the nightstand.
What's that?
Under the nightstand.
Under her nightstand. So that would be in the bedroom that she sleeps in?
Yeah.
And how did you recognize that? Like, what did you think when you saw it?
I just saw a couple baggies. I was curious.
Mm-hmm.
Pull it out, and then that's when I knew what it was.
Yeah, from like TV and stuff?
What?
Like you thought like maybe it was drugs from like TV and stuff?
Yeah.
Right. And you got scared and you called your dad?
Yeah.
So Long maintains that she doesn't know the drugs are in the house, right? But according to ABC 27, authorities found text messages allegedly showing that she was dealing drugs from her home. She ended up getting arrested for drug trafficking and child abuse. And by the way, the boy's father picked him up that night. As for Long, she was reportedly put on probation, violated it, hit with additional drug possession charges, including having cocaine. She was sent to a drug rehabilitation program, but then she was arrested again because of a probation officer found her with drugs, meth, Xanax, Valium, a scale, and she was sentenced ultimately in the end to 9 months in the Clark County Detention Center in October of 2024. This next one goes into the column of a child calling out an alleged perpetrator, okay? Now, this case hasn't been adjudicated yet, want to make that clear, but I got to go through the process of this. I got to call this out. We actually recently covered this on Sidebar. December 17, 2025, out in Arizona, where we have former Cochise County Chief Civil Deputy Paul Correa finds himself in the parking lot of a Sierra Vista Target. And this is when police show up after there is a disorderly conduct report, because the allegation was that 59-year-old Correa was following a young girl in the store and recording her, and then allegedly watching that video in the parking lot with, quote, his pants disheveled. Yeah. According to 13 News, KOLD, an employee of the store called 911, claimed that there was a car blocking another car in the parking lot, because it turns out the father of this girl allegedly blocked Correa's car. Now I'm going to start with the body cam, and then we're going to move into what the child allegedly did.
Hi.
Hi, how are you doing?
All right, how are you? Take your hand out of your pocket. Stop digging around in your waistband. Come to the front of your car.
Sure.
What's your name?
My name's Paul Correa.
Okay, have a seat right here.
I prefer not to sit.
Okay, well, yeah, lean up against your car.
Why?
Because I'm telling you to.
Okay.
It's either that or you can go have a seat in the back of my car. So I'm trying to control. I don't know what's going on. So lean up against your car with your butt, and just kind of sit and relax for a minute while I figure out what's going on. While I watch him, because I'm the only guy here. I don't know what the hell is going on.
All right, sorry.
So, what's the issue today?
He thinks.
Come forth for now. Parties are separated. But units are separated.
Well, he can give you a statement. He thinks he saw something.
Okay.
He's confused. He's angry.
What's he confused or angry, or what does he think he saw?
He thinks that I was in the store recording his daughter with my phone. That's not true. It's absolutely not true.
Okay.
So now the question is, what is going on in the parking lot?
How did this transpire to now in the parking lot? People are blocking each other.
I was sitting here calling my son to say the pizza place is closed in there, so what do you want to eat?
Okay.
And then all of a sudden he's banging on the door, telling me, I don't know what, he's just banging on the door real hard.
Okay. And what's he saying?
I don't think he was saying anything comprehensible. Just like, I think he was telling me to come out of the car. I was like, who are you? And he wouldn't say who he was.
Was there some kind of altercation in the store?
No, absolutely not. Dude, no.
And now you have that father of this minor girl arguably trapping Correa in the parking lot. And this is the part where the officer asks him what he's doing at Target, and this is when the officer learns who he is.
Do you have an ID on you?
Yeah. There you go.
Thanks. You still...
I live in Bisbee.
What's that?
I live in Bisbee now.
In Bisbee? Is this your car?
Yeah.
Okay. What's a good address for you in Bisbee? So you're here shopping?
Yeah.
Did you buy anything?
Yes.
What'd you buy?
A bunch of chocolate balls and stuff. It's for an office party tonight.
Cool. Where do you work?
I work at the Cochise County Attorney's Office.
Oh, okay. What's a good telephone number for you? Are you an attorney? Are you a paralegal or assistant?
I'm the Chief Civil Deputy County Attorney.
Okay.
This guy's got me completely wrong. I understand. I'd be upset too. But...
And then, as the officer tries to get a better sense of what happened, Correa says if he had a gun, he would have shot the father.
So there was no altercation, there was no contact between the two of you guys in the store. But at what point did he tell you, or did you hear an allegation that he thought you were filming his daughter?
He came banging on my door just now. I've been sitting here for a minute, like, trying to figure out what to do about dinner for my kid. He says, I'm in here in my car. I'm like, I don't know where he gets that.
Okay.
Like,
all right. As far as you know, did you see him in the store with a daughter? Or
I don't know who he
you don't
is.
know.
I don't know.
The first that you hear of anything is right here at the car. He's banging on your window.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Hang tight with my partner, Officer Thompson, real quick. Let me go talk to him and get his side of the story. Obviously, until we're done here, you're not free to go.
Right.
We're
Sure.
trying to
I'm fine.
figure out. There's no physical altercation between you and him or in the parking lot here. It's just he's
Well,
banging on.
I tried to close my door, and he prevented me from closing my door. I told him you're breaking the law.
Okay, well, I'll go talk to him.
He pulled my door open. He's breaking the law. If I had a firearm, my firearm with me right now, I would have shot the guy.
And then he tries to invoke the castle doctrine form of self-defense, by the way, that he has no duty to retreat. He can protect himself. I'm not going to get into all that. Thankfully, no one was harmed here. But let's go back to the main question here. How did this father find out about what Correa allegedly did in that Target? Turns out this father, identified as Jason, was home. And this is when his 12-year-old daughter and her mom, Stacy, were in the Target. Here's what the police report says. Quote, I asked Stacy and Jason if I could talk to Redacted, meaning the minor girl, their daughter, about the incident. They stated I could. Redacted provided the following account. Redacted stated that while shopping in the cosmetics section of Target, she noticed a man walking near her with his phone held up at his chest, pointed in her direction. Redacted stated that she initially ignored the man, but became concerned when she noticed he was following her to multiple aisles. Redacted described that the man was walking away, but as she turned around to watch him, Redacted saw that he was holding his phone down to his side, still pointing the camera at her. Redacted demonstrated how the man was holding the phone in both ways. Redacted stated that she looked directly at the man and saw his phone screen as he tried to move his phone back up. Redacted stated she saw his phone screen had a video capture screen open. Redacted stated that she became frightened and returned to her mother to report the incident. So it was because of her and what she noticed and how attentive she was and her going back to her mom that this investigation and criminal case began into Correa. Now, again, he's innocent until proven guilty, but if these allegations are true, it is because of her that we're seeing this. And it also led to Jason being told what was allegedly going on and him racing over and seemingly confronting Correa. And then the report says when he got to Target, he located the man, later identified as Paul Correa, sitting in a vehicle. Jason said he blocked Correa's vehicle with his own to prevent him from leaving and approached Correa's car. Jason stated that he banged on the window and observed Correa looking at his phone. Jason described that he believed Correa was, how should I say this, touching himself? Oh, and by the way, listen to what the responding officer said as well. Quote, as I contacted Correa, he exited the vehicle and immediately started to manipulate the waistband of his pants. His left hand was not visible behind his person as he appeared to pull up on the back of his pants, and his right hand was in his pocket. I directed him to stop digging around in his waistband and pocket and to come to the front of his car. Correa then pulled his shirt down over his pants. I observed the front zipper of his pants was partially unzipped, and the zipper pull was protruding from the fabric flap area as if his pants had been undone. And by the way, the police report indicates that there was also surveillance footage of Correa allegedly filming not only this girl, but another girl in the store too. And by the way, he denies doing anything like this. Now, he's been ultimately charged with the following: sexually motivated harassment, public sexual indecency, tampering with evidence. He's been fired from his position. We're going to see how this case shakes out. And again, he's innocent until proven guilty. But if the allegations are true, all back to that girl. If you want to talk about a brave child, and I think all the children here are quite brave, but if you want to talk about a brave child, listen to this. We go to Grove City, Ohio, back on November 11th, 2025, where officers get a report of a stolen vehicle. And according to Grove City Police, while they're investigating, they get word that there was a theft over at Dick's Sporting Goods. Now, the officers end up finding that stolen car at I-71, but the driver had apparently crashed into another car. 3 suspects, all male. They run away from the scene, or allegedly run away from the scene. But authorities indicate that 2 female suspects, they're staying with the car. They match the description of the theft at the Dick's. And 2 of the male suspects end up getting caught. But what about that last person, right? So according to Grove City, this 20-year-old suspect, later identified as Shalik Bing, runs across all the lanes of this interstate, I-71, again, running from police. And that brings us now to a mother, Chastity Warwick, and her children, okay? They're at the Mid-Ohio Food Collective when this suspect allegedly shows up and punches her in the face, demands her car keys, okay, right in front of the kids. And you know what happens next? Her 5-year-old son starts chasing the guy. Yeah, that is 5-year-old Aiden in the blue coat. Unbelievable. How brave is this kid? And now the good news is police end up tracking Bing down. So we got the body cam footage of an officer going through the intersection, chasing Bing, or allegedly chasing Bing, going into the lot where this alleged attack happened. And you can hear and you can see them catch him, but you can also hear the screaming in the background from this alleged attack.
We're at. Over.
71. 150, red shoes, black hoodies detained.
Undetained 53-1.
Where's the other one? I'm gonna get my car.
Yep, go ahead.
Sorry about roosters. Sorry about that.
You're good, bud. You're good.
Hey.
Yeah.
I roll in my stomach. I roll in my stomach.
Yeah, you sure can. You got anything on you?
No.
Anything on you that's gonna poke me, stick me?
You can try. You can make sure get my phone out that car. Huh?
Say that one more time.
Can you make sure get my phone out that car? I don't even live out. You gotta be in the car.
Alright, go back this way. Back over.
You heard me?
Yeah, I heard you.
I don't live out here.
Up yours. Up your butt.
So police say Bing is facing multiple charges, including 2 counts of robbery. And I will tell you this, okay? My colleague, Anjanette Levy over at Crime Fix, she first covered this unbelievable story and actually interviewed this mother and son.
Yeah,
He didn't want to take. He didn't want him to take my mom's keys. That's what he's saying.
Wow. So Chastity, I mean, this had to be terrifying. I mean,
Oh,
you're
it
a
was.
mom with
It-
young kids, and this happens. I mean, as this is unfolding, and you see Aiden running for this guy and trying to hit this guy. What is going through your mind?
Well, at the time, I couldn't think. Like at the time of everything going on, was going on so fast that I didn't even see where my son went. I didn't even see all my kids around. All I know is getting up and coming back to reality after it all happened, being shook up, and I felt like, honestly, a deer in headlights. That's the only way to describe it. That's how I felt, so much in shock that I didn't know what to do, how to do. And I just got up and ran and got my keys, my kids, and I looked at my kids. I said, let's go to the car and let's lock the doors. And that's what we did. And then the police arrived and got him down, all right there. And then I called my mom. Her and my sister ended up coming, and it all happened so fast, so quick. And I'm thankful, very, 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 I can't say it enough, but I'm very thankful that it happened the way it did, and it wasn't worse than what it was, because it could have been worse.
Yeah.
My kids could have got stabbed. I could have got stabbed or shot. I didn't know what that guy had on him. All I know is that he tried taking my keys to get away, to go further away from the cops. And how it went down, it's crazy.
She was simply trying to get food stamps with her kids, and this happens. So just thank goodness they're okay, but my gosh, what an incredibly brave little boy. While Grove City Lieutenant Jason Stern says, look, he doesn't recommend or advise people chasing suspects, obviously. He did say, quote, you see a young child say, that's my mom, nuh-uh, pretty impressive, pretty brave. So look, these are just some examples of children turning the tables on criminals or the accused, and it doesn't even take into account the multiple stories, by the way, that we've covered here on Sidebar where minors come forward about being victims of sexual assault, right? Those stories where because of their accounts, we actually saw criminal charges. You know, maybe we'll actually do a Sidebar on that. Maybe we'll do that in the future. But in the meantime, this is just a glimpse at some of the bravery of these children. And that's all we have for you right now here on Sidebar, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. And as always, please subscribe on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you should get your podcasts. We're also up on NBC's Peacock as well. If you want to follow me, X, Instagram, you can also check out my News Nation show, Jesse Weber Live, Monday through Friday, 11 p.m. Eastern. I'll see you next time, everybody.